If you're a content creator on Instagram, there's a few underutilized features that you might want to know about. Some of these features have the potential to build a really strong community environment on Instagram, which I'm really all about in 2025. I feel in the past decade that the social has been lacking from social media. So in today's video, we're going to talk about 5 different Instagram features that you may not be using as a content creator, but should. But for those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Kaylee and I'm a beauty and fashion photographer based near Sydney, Australia. But I'm also a content creator and I started this channel a few years ago to talk about all things business, social media, freelancing, and content creation. And as I mentioned, today's video is going to be all about 5 different Instagram features that you probably haven't been using as a content creator, but really should take advantage of. As I've already said in this video, some of these features are really handy if you want to build an engaged community this year and really take your Instagram account to that next level. I really feel that one of the key growth metrics for Instagram is engagement and how much people are commenting on your videos, how much they're personally engaging with you, how much you're personally engaging with them and their accounts as well. And obviously all of the other statistics that come along with that, like likes, shares, saves, those are really important for generating a good amount of engagement on all of your posts. And as I mentioned, social media has become a little bit less social in a lot of aspects, especially with Instagram. And I do feel like you need to push yourself to engage on the platform. And I really believe that some of the most successful content creators on Instagram are really great at engaging with their audience and connecting with them. So we're going to talk about the first feature now, and that is close friends stories. Now, this is a feature that you've probably seen before, and maybe you've been added personally by someone else, one of your friends, one of your family members, into their close friend stories, and they've added you as a close friend. Now, this is something that you may have glazed over completely in terms of utilizing it as a content creator. And you would be forgiven because really, as the name suggests, you're really thinking of it more so in a personal sense and maybe not so much in a business or a creator sense. So really the purpose of utilizing this as a content creator can really come down to building a stronger community. You can really use it to build loyalty and connection with a smaller and more dedicated audience. And you can really dedicate these types of stories to showing exclusive content like behind the scenes that your general audience may not see as much. It's kind of keeping that exclusive factor in there and really, like I said, developing a little bit more connection with maybe a smaller audience, or maybe you want to reach out to other people in your niche. Maybe there's similar creators to you that you really vibe with and you really like their content as well, and you can kind of start to build a bit of community that way as well. Again, this kind of feature can be really personalized a little bit more and directed towards a smaller portion of your audience. And I'd really encourage you to create a close friends list and experiment with different types of content. Like I said, this list can be either for your own audience, maybe you've got some really dedicated followers that you want to add into that, or maybe you want to start creating a close friends list that includes people in your niche who you really admire the work of. Maybe they've got a similar follower count to you, and it's a really good way to help build that stronger community as smaller creators. Whichever way you choose to use this feature, it's a really handy one. And again, it's really just putting that social back into social media, creating that stronger engagement and community as a creator. Now, the next Instagram feature that you may not be using is Reels Insights. Now, you may regularly visit your Insights tab and look at some of your statistics, but do you really go into deep dive on your Reels specifically? This is what I want to know, because this is a really important feature of Instagram, and I really hope they continue to develop this because I feel like we need even more insights here. And personally, I also use this in conjunction with Metricool. I've spoken about Metricool on my channel a lot before, but I've been working with them over the last year, and they're a really great analytics platform and scheduling platform, and they really give me the deep insights, and specifically for Reels. But in terms of Instagram, this feature for Reels Insights is really important because Reels is going to give you reach. And you really want to know when you're posting your Reels what is working and what isn't, and how you can improve that. Now, although your insights will be important for things like posts and carousels as well, I really feel like even more so they are important for Reels because they can really tell you a lot about this type of post. You really need to analyze the key metrics like views, engagement, saves, shares. Really looking at all of these kinds of statistics in your Reels Insights are really going to help you develop a better strategy for your Reels moving forward. I really feel there should be a little bit more importance around data-driven content creation as well, because I feel like too often people are not looking at their statistics, not looking at their insights for their posts like this, and actually learning from it and trying something different. Because if you don't know this stuff, it can be really hard to know how to grow and take that next step. As I mentioned, Reel Insights above all other posts are very important to me specifically because I know that they're going to be the best type of post for reach and that is really a key figure that you want to be looking at in your Reels insights, looking at how much it's reaching, and depending on what kind of content you're posting, maybe you can try a different strategy next time you post a Reel to kind of improve that number. Looking at Reels insights for my own content has really improved, and there was a time where I really relied on it as well, because I was posting every day for 6 months back in 2023, and I was struggling. A couple of months in, I remember I was starting to flatline with my Reels, and I wasn't understanding why I wasn't getting more reach. So then I had to really implement different tactics and strategies to get me going again, to try and have some sort of different result from posting my Reels day to day. And as I said, relying on the Reels insights was really, in particular, very, very important at that time, because otherwise I wouldn't have known what was working, how to improve, what I needed to improve on, and what I might need to try next. The next Instagram feature that you may not be utilizing as a content creator is your link in bio section. And realistically, I mean the whole bio section. I think that for a lot of creators, this part could be filled in a lot better than often what it is. But I do specifically want to touch on a link in bio, because your link in bio is really going to be your only option for people to leave your Instagram and go to your potential other social media sites or your other platforms online. And I think it is really important to have some sort of a link in bio that takes you to a link tree or takes you to a website where you can have a similar style landing page to a link tree. There are lots of different platforms out there where you can actually do this. And one of the ones that I've actually spoken about on my channel before is through BioSites, which is actually by Squarespace. So if you've heard of Squarespace before, they're a website builder, and they also own BioSites, which are more of a link in bio kind of style landing page. I actually have a video about this on my channel, so you can go and check that out. I'll leave the link in the description box below. But link in bio sites like this often are free to make, and I really encourage you to do this because you want to be able to direct traffic to multiple destinations, not just your Instagram account. Especially if you want to have more of a sustainable income and business as a content creator, you really need to have multiple platforms where you can kind of tie your Instagram to and not just necessarily rely on it. So making sure as well that your bio is filled out in a way that is very clear. It shows people exactly who you are and what you do and what you value, and even how you can help other people or what you would like to engage with other people on the platform about. And then obviously having your link in bio, having that landing page so you can direct your audience to your other platforms is a really, really important feature of Instagram. Now, the fourth Instagram feature that you may not be using is utilizing your story highlights as guides. Now, guides, I believe, were kind of something that were brought in a number of years ago now, and then Instagram decided to scrap them and no longer have them on Instagram. So one thing I will say is that if you have used guides before and you kind of missed them, or even if you haven't utilized guides when they were around, I really think that utilizing your story highlights in a similar way is a great way to create mini guides for people depending on your niche. So for example, especially if you're in any way in a teaching realm, or for example, you might be a travel content creator, you might have a travel Instagram account like me, and you want to do some city guides or you want to do some country guides, and you want to really put some information in there that is super important for people to see, maybe some different itineraries, things like that. You can utilize these story highlights as more than just story highlights. You can specifically go in and actually design it so it looks like a proper guide and people can easily access that information. It really just helps your Instagram page give more value to your audience, and I feel like just because guides are now gone doesn't mean you can't get around that and do something similar with your story highlights. Now again, you don't just have to post story highlights. You can really think outside the box with this, post more educational content, post things that people will really want to see specifically within your niche, and something that you can easily add value with in those story highlights I think would be an amazing way to utilize this. So whether it's product reviews, travel itineraries, or educational resources, these are some of the kinds of things that you can add into these guides, and again, just showcase a little bit more knowledge and expertise to your audience. And then the last Instagram feature that you may not be using is going live. Now I know going live on Instagram is maybe not as exciting as going live on TikTok or even YouTube these days, or other particular platforms online that people prefer to go live on, but I will say that there is still room for this on Instagram, and I still think that there's different ways that you can kind of integrate lives into your own content creation. Streaming across many different platforms these days has become such a huge thing for content creators, and I really think you can still integrate this into your Instagram account. And especially with live rooms and collaborating with other creators, maybe other people in your niche, and really doing some fun Q&As or doing kind of regular lives where you can kind of catch a little bit of your audience and have them see a different side to your content creation and really get to know you personally, I think is a really great way to go on Instagram. Because one thing I will say about Instagram is I quite often find it to be very impersonal. And I don't love that about Instagram, especially compared to TikTok. One thing I'll give TikTok is that I do feel that it's a lot more personable on there, and I feel like you definitely get to see more of people's values and their thoughts and their expertise, their opinions. Whereas Instagram sometimes feels like you're kind of hiding behind an aesthetic feed and everything has to be curated a little bit. So I really like the idea of going live on Instagram and bringing that back. Again, this is just about building better community, a stronger community, and getting more engaged with your audience overall. Well, thank you so much for watching this video today, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, make sure you do, because I'll be posting a lot more videos in future. Let me know down in the comment section below if you use any of these Instagram features, or is it something that you're looking at utilizing this year? I'd really love to know all of your thoughts, and specifically those of you who do Instagram lives regularly, I'd love to hear from you, because I don't really know of too many content creators who are still doing a lot of Instagram lives, and I just want to hear about your experience and whether you enjoy doing it on Instagram or whether you prefer just going onto TikTok to do them. I would love to hear a little bit more about that. But in the meantime, make sure to hit the notification bell to see all the updates from my channel. And thank you so much again, as always, for watching. I'll see you in the next video.